everyone, I'm Jamie. If there's one thing with no doubt that I love doing ever since I was a child, it's drawing. I remember using an old crappy camera. I used to take pictures of Ben 10, SpongeBob SquarePants, and even the Avatar, The Last Airbender, directly from the television and drawing it on my 10 peso notebook using an HBW ballpen. And then, one day, when I was in 5th grade, a family friend of ours visited our humble home. She carried a canister, an object that I had no knowledge of. So, as a kid, I was curious and asked her what that was and why she needed it. That was the fateful day that architecture was introduced to me. For better or for worse, I know that that day was when my dream started. My parents had always been supportive of this hobby of mine. Whenever we had spare money and that art material that I was not requesting is not so much expensive, they would buy it for me. Back then, I really did not care how complex my chosen reference would be, nor did I care to watch any YouTube tutorial to watch how to draw this or paint that. All I did back then was draw, and draw again. I really didn't care if my output or my drawing would be perfect, nor would it be aesthetic. All that mattered was that I was happy and I was contented with what I was doing. Senior high school came and everyone around me was talking about their future programs. Who wouldn't? It was time to decide. My decision on taking architecture did not waver, but I had to admit, I had no idea about it. All I knew was that it was all about drawing floor plans and drawing exterior designs. One of my aunt, in fact, told me that I should start researching about it and start practicing designing so that when college comes, I would have an initial idea about it. But I did not. It was the first mistake that I did. Come the first day of college, my visual communication professor, who was also my architectural design 1 professor, had us draw something, and I was literally trembling. It was the first time in my life that I felt pressure in drawing. So, a little tip for future architecture students: start researching as early as now. I was really overwhelmed by the number of plates, requirements, and scale models that I had to do back then. If not for my friends, I don't know where I'd be right now. I found a good group of people that I know I'll be with until the end of time. As time went by, I learned that architecture is more than just drawing lines and creating figures. While it is true that I chose the program of architecture just because of my love for drawing, I also learned to love it by its complex and broad but very significant meaning. There is an unexplainable euphoria that I feel whenever I look at a good piece of architecture, and that hopefully when the future comes, I will be able to produce something that is not just pleasing to the eyes but also for the betterment and benefit of the society. After all, that is one of the many reasons why architecture exists, to be able to serve a purpose. People may not notice it, but buildings could actually influence the way they live, their moods, and their behavior. And with architecture, we can influence the way people live their lives for the better. Ever since then, architecture has been part of our culture, as it is a representation of how we see and define not just ourselves, but the world. It may be a chaotic combination of art and science, but at the end, the result will always be one: a success. I'm not going to lie though, architecture is hard. The pressure and exhaustion are both weight on your shoulders that you will carry once you enter architecture school. And I'm not even close to taking architectural designs 9 and 10, nor am I close to undergoing the required 2-year experience in order to be able to take the board exams. I know I still have a long way to go, especially because this program requires not only knowledge but also experience. But I know in my heart that this is what I want to do. Despite the stress and fatigue, I honestly could not imagine myself doing anything other than architecture.